Morning, what I'll do is basically I want to highlight two areas. One, I put out training videos also on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't seen it, it is Market Tech Talk. I also show free videos on my website. And this last video is how to find winning stocks before they explode. This is pillar one of the 5 pillars of profitable trend trading. And right now I'm going to shoot you a link for the free videos, and I will also go and grab the link to YouTube. Please encourage you, if you haven't signed up for the YouTube channel, it's just a separate, it's totally free and all that kind of stuff. But as a online business person, help me to get my subscriber base up to over 1,000. That, I need our members just to help me out with that. So, hey, just recommend it to your friends, your family, maybe not your friends, not your family, whichever, but help me get to over 1,000. That way it opens the door for the algorithm of YouTube, then goes and punches into higher levels of reach for the business. So anyway, hey, welcome. This is Dennis Wilburn. Welcome to today's session of How to Make Money Trading Stocks. We've got Steve Ferreira, Dr. Steve from was a professor at University of Hawaii. He's joining us from downtown Honolulu. And always remember that what we do is for training purposes. And so we just jump right into it. I hope everybody is trading well. I will be asking a question as we get towards the end. The question is very simple. Are you consistently finding winning stocks this year? And I know that if you are subscribing to the active trend trading and or even the top 5 autopilot trades, we have provided a lot of a lot of there, Eric. A lot of stocks that have in fact done very, very well this year. We're up about 50%. We are basically almost about 50% over and above what the S&P is doing. Again, it's really surprising. I think Steve could probably confirm this, is that basically, Steve, it's been a year for stock pickers. And when the stocks start going in your direction, it's a great time to just get in and go along for the ride. You agree with that?
Basically, I agree, except it's real squirrely right now.
It is squirrely, that is for sure. Yeah. And so, anyway, we're going to jump into taking a look at the market here shortly. So I'm just remembering, we're after. Our objective and my objective in this session is basically to provide traders with top-notch market analysis every week, timely, actionable intel that clarifies, simplify trading decisions so that you can multiply your profits and minimize your risk. I have discussions with folks almost every week about people who are trying to learn how to trade, and oftentimes part of the deal is it's easy to jump in and start trading. In a way, it's easy. Unfortunately, what happens with folks is they leave out some very important ingredients about trading. They put together a little nest egg of, $1,000 or $500 or $1,000, $2,000, and they jump in and they start trading. Unfortunately, what they miss in the equation is they don't have a full plan. They don't know what the heck to do when the market turns against them. And so they'll basically just give it all back to people like you guys who are wise traders, who are just standing there ready for something to happen. So with 2 weeks left in September, I'm looking for setups. And so I encourage everybody to trade the chart in front of you, reduce the number of stocks that you're watching, and just basically learn to be very patient for the stocks to, for the triggers and the setups to come along. And so, and then Dr. Steve will be covering any stocks, but we're going to be just chatting a little bit today about the weakness and the uncertainty. I'm going to take a look at VIX also, since Steve came out and said, hey, it's a rarity. I don't have any stocks to particular pick. So let's go over and look at the indexes. Let's take a look first at SPX. I'm going to go to SPX rather than the spiders, just to see what's transpiring here. Right now, what do we have going on in SPX? Is basically we are getting a move. We came down, found support at the 50 last part of last week, bounced up, classic move, bounced up into the congestion at the moving averages, and now we're rolling back over. Now, are we gonna fall like, a dead duck, during duck season down to these levels here? Don't know. We basically don't know. There's a couple of ways, but we want to watch it right now. We are getting no indication that the market is ready to turn back around yet. And this is, like I said, this is a classic downside move. And so if I was to project down, how far might I go? There's a couple of ways of doing that. I can basically take a measurement from this high here to this low here, and then project it down from this high, this swing high here. Or I can go over here and learn how to use my Fibonacci and do the same darn thing with a Fibonacci extension, which I'm going to do right here for you, to give us an idea of where prices on the S&P may wind up. So let's get up there. And a full 100% symmetric move off this first move down that started back in, first part of September, will put us down at about 31.51. So that can give us a target. Oftentimes, during these intermediate downtrends, you'll find a stock come to rest somewhere between the 786 and the 100. So I'm not going to belabor that a lot, but it definitely looks like that's where we could be going. Could we overextend and go down here to the 1272? Just happens to be the 200-day moving average. You betcha. You betcha we could. And so right now, how am I trading this? I basically am looking for a pullback. Let me get rid of my draw. Oops, wrong drawing to get rid of. I'll look for a little bit of more of a pullback down into these lower levels. Again, we're making new, lower lows, lower highs. Guess what? We're in a downtrend. So I'll be looking for a rebound, probably at about this level here, back up into the moving averages. And I'd look to get short. And so I'd be looking at either doing puts or puts or some kind of a spread on the SPY. Or if I was wanted to, I could also be trading I could be trading the leverage ETFs on the S&P. Now let's get over to the NASDAQ. What's the NASDAQ showing us? Remember, NASDAQ had been basically the leading stock, the leading index, showing a very additional classic move to the downside. The 50-day moving average tried to support us. However, we bounced back up into the moving averages, and after they had crossed, the 820 crossed here, and now we're getting a more downside move. If we laid the same, and I'm going to get rid of, what's interesting is, I'm going to get rid of this. This is basically the 78%, 100% retracement on this move from earlier in the year, where we moved down to here. And that the symmetric move would put us down about the 9,400 level, 9,474 level. How about if we lay on, I'm just going to remove drawing. How about if I lay on a similar type situation from that high there to this low here, back to this swing high here. And where does that put me? 100% retracement of this move puts us down at the about the 10,000 mark on the NASDAQ. Again, you can translate this over to the Qs. I will be focusing on trading one of two indexes, either the NASDAQ or the IWM. And so on, I may have already done this. No, I did not. But I'll come on, sit still. Get rid of that drawing. let's draw in a new one with the, I'm on the Qs now, daily chart, down to this low, back to this high, approximately there. Where does that put me? My 100% retracement is down in the support zone at 243. So, make a note on that. And you may want to just basically take that and say, hey, that's where look for things to turn around. What I'll be doing is this area here, anywhere from the 78.6 is 251 down to 233. That is a value zone where things could turn around. I would anticipate, but it's not necessarily going to turn around prior to coming down, hitting a new low, and then bouncing back up again, back up in the 820 day moving average. And that's where I'd be looking at for something for a short trade or a trade to the downside. IWM, which is the Russell. So we didn't write it in. We'll do RET first. Okay, Russell is actually holding up pretty well, consider it's actually holding up better than the other indexes. So we'll see if it in fact dumps to the downside. But right now it hasn't done that. It's getting questionable, but as long as it's hanging above the 50, which is kind of the critical line of demarcation, we'll watch that to the downside, but look for a potential bounce back up to the upside. So, Steve, that's kind of what I have on the indexes. I'll go back over here to IWM to see how well it matches with the Russell. And as you can see, yeah, it matches pretty well. So, any thoughts or anything like that on what you're doing?
Well, I'm fully invested, but I'm right at critical exiting levels. I'm probably starting to. I've exited a couple of positions out of. I have 12 positions open. Exited 2 positions earlier in the week, and I'm going to be exiting. Looks like 3 or 4 more today. I still have a few open. They're right at but critical levels where they may exit early next week. Yeah.
Now, when you say critical levels, for the folks who are both dialing in and joining us on YouTube, who'll be watching this video later on, when you say critical levels, what do you mean? I mean, are they
in general? There's some exceptions to this, but in general, I trade mostly options.
Yeah,
And when they're at the 50% loss level from entry,
okay,
I'm almost always will be exiting. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. And so. So I know a lot of folks right now will basically, when the market's starting to show kind of the wear and tear that it's currently showing, the wear and tear that it's currently showing is they'll basically go ahead and start tightening up their stops because let's say that they have programmed in a 5% stop loss and the price of the index has gone up, or the price of the individual entity has gone up, but not reached the profit target. They'll go ahead and just tighten up and say, hey, you know what? I don't want this to turn into a loss of 5%. Therefore, I'll adjust it. They may be willing to take a 2% loss, or they may say, you know, I want to get a little bit of profit. And that's the last thing I want to leave folks with is sometimes as the market gets into a shaky area, which we know that's the way September is, there's not a darn thing wrong with just adjusting your expectations. And if you're expecting a 7% gain on a particular trade during market conditions like this, you may have to adjust and say, you know, I'm going to be happy with a 3.5% gain or a 5% gain. And that's perfectly okay, because what is happening, and I think IWM shows this pretty well, is what's it doing going back here to midsection of August. It's basically kind of just driving sideways and bouncing between the upper Keltner channels and the lower Keltner channels. And so when something's driving that way, there's tradable, profitable trades to be found, but they're not going to be the same profitable trades that you would normally get in a running market because it's not trending. So Eric asked the question, doesn't RUT lead the market? If it shows support, maybe the turnaround soon. Yeah, possibly, Eric. But I think also what's going on with that is with interest rates now at almost at zero, that which is very positive for the small caps. That's one thing that's happened. And also I think the seasonality in that the small caps tend to perform better during the fourth quarter of the year than the other indexes. So it could be a combination of several, a lot of different things. And so again, it gets back to trade the chart that's in front of you. Trade the charts in front of you. I want to highlight real quick, guys, and then we'll bounce. I want to highlight two things. One, the VIX. Some people, does anybody here trade the VIX? Because VIX has a whole lot of stuff on it. Let me show you what it's got going on with it. You can trade, I know some people who trade the VIX, they love trading the VIX because it always gives them something to trade, okay? At the same time, you have to be very leery of trading the VIX because it jumps around a lot. And so if you get a breakout, you can't necessarily trade the breakout itself because the pullbacks and the breakouts will rip your face off. I mean, because the high to low today, just take a look at this on the VIX, is the high low today is what? It's about, I want to say, yeah, almost 10%. And so one of the ways to trade the VIX is some people will switch over to the intraday chart, or they'll identify a level of support and they'll just basically park an order down there. And if prices fall below that, like let's say this is your level here. Well, if prices fall below that, you're only about a 2 to 3% loss on it. The other thing that some people do is they trade the options on the VIX. And these, if I go out a month from now, as you can see, the options are very, the open interest on the options are very huge. And so if I was at the money position right now, I'd be able to buy about over 1,000 contracts of open interest at the 27. It's a 72% delta, which is pretty interesting, consider something that's just at the money. So that, which means basically if it goes up $1, you get 70 cents on the dollar on the move up. So it is something to, you may be interested in trading it because you never have to worry about earnings and you can basically just work around it that way. So that's what I've got on VIX. The other thing I want to just share with you really quick, DocuSign. Steve, if I was, here's a picture of the kind of stocks that I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for these stocks that are doing, and I bet you're doing something similar. DocuSign had a big, huge run up here. It then fell from the sky after earnings, but look what it's at. It's in a support zone. Now I'm just waiting for my momentum indicators to show, hey, yeah, we're ready to go now. Weekly momentum indicators are down. And so right now it's saying, don't buy me yet, but I'm in an area where I could be purchased soon. So be patient, like when you're fishing with the bobber, be patient and wait for the bobber to go under the water. And then you set the hook and bingo, bango, away you go. So, okay, Steve, that's basically anything you want to add to the
No, nothing to add. And I do like, I am watching Docu. I think it's in a wonderful place, but I think the market's got to signal its next direction before I go
right on. Right on.
Yeah.
Agree wholeheartedly. So, yeah. Okay, well, that's what we've got going for today. I will just basically, if you're interested in Trade Journal, it'll be down in the description on the description in the YouTube channel. And so again, I just encourage everybody to learn to focus on the process. The profits will follow. That's the other thing you can do when the market is just showing just huge weakness like it's showing, weakness like it's showing right now. Practice sharpening the saw. Learn what those, proper entries look like. So that way, once it gets going, and also work on your routine. Work on your routine. day in, daily, you want to go repeat that routine over and over and over again. It's the perfect time to be doing just that. So, hey, just a real quick, here's my question of the week, and you can answer it in the, please answer it in the chat box. If you're joining us on YouTube, please just put it in your comments section. Hey, are you finding consistently winning setups? Yes or no? Remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, or if you're not watching us on YouTube and have not, please go on over. Cool. Thanks, Warren. Hey, Richard. Awesome. Not in the last month. Barry. Yeah. And hit the subscribe button and also give us a thumbs up. If you want to have any questions about active trend trading or about anything we're doing, email me here. And so one of our most popular offerings is what we call the Power Rank Elite Top 5 AutoPilot Trades. I got a special announcement. This is what's coming on this. Between the 30th of September and the 14th of October, we're going to have AutoPilot Trading Challenge. And basically, we'll get to spend time with each other every day so that you can, one, use our best tactics that we have for 2020, designed to help you execute your trades via conditional orders. And so it helps you engage, targets of opportunity in Q4, because, Q4 is going to be, I think, a interesting and big quarter for the market. And it gives you a plan and a routine. And that's what we're going to help you do on a daily basis. You'll be connecting with us through a private Facebook page. And so more information will be coming about this. If you are already a free member or a top 5 member or even a premium member, you'll be getting a link to basically see if you want to sign up for this. So, like it says, gives you a plan and routine to grow your wealth like you're on autopilot. My son is so Brandon has done all the graphics on this and everything. So, hey, that's what we've got for today. I just want to say thank you so much, Steve. I'm hoping like heck we basically have some great stocks to be looking at next week. But even if we don't, Steve, I know we'll be patient and wait for the setups to happen.
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, hey, keep sharpening the saw. Mahalo. God bless everybody. This is an encouragement to subscribe to our YouTube, and a video pop up right there. And so till next week, keep an eye on your email for the top 5 challenge that's coming to you. And I'll just say aloha, God bless. Have a great rest of your going into this weekend. An awesome time. Aloha.